all of that will inform now how we plan, as I mentioned before, and what does it mean for development. And development is not only about the economic development. Tied to that, closely related to that, is social development. You see, there are economic, social, and environmental objectives in most things that we do. The environment, people, and the livelihoods of people.
And all of it must be sustainable.
Sustainable is one of the SDGs, Sustainable
Yes.
Development Goals, through the International United Nations Convention. But we are a signatory to that. But it's not only that we are a signatory. That's the reality of our world, and that's how we're affected. If we were to take care of the economic aspect, but not the social fabric, we're not going to benefit from the economics if we didn't have a society geared to that.
But
neither can the society survive.
Is it so possible, though, to compartmentalize? For example, to say that we're taking care of the economic aspect without the social aspect. It's almost impossible, because with economics comes the social aspect as well. And with the social aspect come the economics. For example, we have people down at the market, and they're involved, yes, in economic activity, but they're also involved in social activity.
Certainly.
Because they have to mix and they have to mingle, they have to communicate, and all of that sort of a thing.
It's one thing.
It's one thing.
Is economics, social, and environmental, all right? Because if we also look at economics over environment, it can affect us socially and economically as well, because it has consequences. The question here is
but we have seen a lot of that in our development paradigms.
Yeah.
Sometimes within the Caribbean, we don't so much look at environment as we look at the economics. And so therefore, in terms of even our industries, the tourism industry, which is big, look at how we build. We just don't want a tourism industry, but we want a sustainable tourism industry.
Sustainable, exactly.
That does not destroy our reefs.
Yes. And they're taking that approach. I'm very happy to see that they're doing that, sustainable tourism.
I think nowadays that, that term sustainability is getting more attention.
Yes, yes. So we need to look at all of those. Just like said in a lesson, you need the knowledge, you need the attitudes and behaviors and so on. But drawing in, a parallel here is that we need all of those. They're intricately intertwined. They're intertwined.
They're linked.
All right. And so they're inextricably linked, that we need to look at all of those aspects. Otherwise, you can benefit some more than others. And that is where disparity comes in, because in development, what good is it that we have one segment of society that has the ivory tower and the others are on the margins? All right? That is not development. Disparities in development is a serious thing, because all of society is affected. And you can have an outbreak like this, all right, a pandemic like this. Do you think that one is more, some people are vulnerable more than others, so we don't deny that. But hey, this can affect anyone as well. Okay? So the whole cycle can break down if we don't consider all of this. And so the social also is okay. There's something about development as well. So we have disparities in development. Some
Yes.
areas, that's why, the oil-rich producing countries, we have the dichotomy. There have been many, the first world, third world, and all that, and those names have gone out.
Yeah.
Then they have the lesser developed countries and the more developed countries, the LDCs and MDCs. But they have a special category, what they call oil-rich producing countries, where you can have so much disparity that you might say, hey, is this a developed country, or simply that they have the wealth? All right, because of the disparities. Just to make a point of reference here. I'm not.
Yes, you are correct. And I think you're touching a little bit on economics, because economic growth does not always translate into economic development.
Exactly.
So therefore, the country might be making a lot of money, but how is that money being pumped into economic development in terms of the roads and the quality of life for people?
And
is something else.
Yeah, but the different communities, what is the standard of living, the quality of life? It's a broad term, and many things can go in there. The Human Development Index, all right?
Yes.
How does the GDP translate into all of that, all right?
Human rights.
Yeah, human rights, and you name it. People with disabilities or challenged, there are different terminologies. I'm not necessarily so good at that, but there are others who have developed, policies on that, and I'm very, I'm very open to all of that and very sympathetic and concerned about all of that, and I may need to educate myself more on that as well. And through this program, I will learn more. I'm learning as I develop this program, and also from others who are a part of it. So all of these we need to take into consideration, because we can have the wealth, but what about the people, living conditions, and all of this? And so we spoke earlier about some of this for a disaster or the strike and the vulnerabilities. So it's really when you look at it, you need to put it back together and say, this is how our society is made up.